Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I want to make a quick video talking about some features that I would like to add to AA to make it better. I've been critical of AA in the past, and instead of being, sort of like a negative all the time, how about actually offering some stuff to help the game? Now, this is all going to be besides the super obvious criticism, the game is super pay to win, right? Like that's some low hanging fruit right there. We all understand AA is incredibly pay to win, but besides that I would personally add if I was a developer in this game, I think would help it a lot, in my opinion. Anyways, a lot of these will probably be very opinionated, so if you just have different preferences, maybe you don't agree, but let me know your take on my suggestions, and also leave your own suggestions in the comments if you guys have one idea, because I personally have had some stuff that I've always been like praying that they add, but they've just never gone to it. So who knows, maybe an AA dev will see this and they'll think I'm onto something, or maybe they watch the video and they're like, yeah, this guy's an idiot, don't let him anywhere near the dev team. But anyways, to start off, a new guild system, because the current guild system sucks. I absolutely hate it. The guild system right now is currently based off damage, and damage is such a stupid metric to determine how good a guild is, because yes, it's like hard to grind, and at least it's like grindable, but it's such a monotonous, tedious, annoying ass grind, and it just incentivizes people to basically leave their accounts running 24/7, which is stupid in my opinion. You should have a guild system where you can do something, but it shouldn't take up all your time. It shouldn't take up all your time of the day just to stay at the top, because yes, I won't lie, it is really satisfying to climb the ranks, which is the good part, but the methodology in which you do so by farming damage is so boring. I absolutely hate it. So if I had to suggest a new guild system, I would low-key just copy Cookie Run Kingdom. And if you guys don't know what Cookie Run Kingdom is, it's a mobile game, and this game has actually copied it before with some models, so clearly they know of Cookie Run Kingdom. Like the World Skippers, they copied that model from Cookie Run Kingdom. The Relic Stones, or whatever they're called, they copied that model from Cookie Run Kingdom, so clearly they know a little bit about Cookie Run, right? Anyways, here's how Cookie Run has their guild system. Every day you get 3 attempts to fight a boss that has like a bunch of HP, and it basically just comes down to how much damage you do to that boss within a certain time frame. So in Cookie Run you get about a minute. That wouldn't work as well in a tower defense game, so let's say like in the tower defense game you get like a 10-minute game or something. 10 minutes where you're not supposed to win, you're just supposed to deal as much damage as you possibly can, but you only get 3 attempts per day. Why do you only get 3 attempts per day? Because this way people aren't just like 24/7 grinding this. It's something you can do every day, little by little, and it doesn't take the entire day doing it. And another important thing is that one, you get rewards based off how good your guild did, and also you get individual rewards. So let's say you dealt 1 million damage, you get a reward for 1 million damage. Your guild in total dealt 100 million damage, you get a reward for that as well. That way, you get rewards for individual activity as well as your guild, because I also don't like it when guilds are only beneficial for the top 1%. A lot of games are like that, where guilds only matter if you're in the freaking the top 10 best guilds in the game, and I think that's dumb. I think guilds should help you no matter what point in the game you're in, but obviously they should help you more the later you get into the game. There should be an incentive for you to want to grind your guild up. But yeah, I would personally do a guild boss battle system, because one, it means that you don't have to 24/7 grind anime adventures, rotting your computer away, and two, it's just a much more interactive system, and it's way more fun than grinding damage, at least in my opinion. Now, a second thing they need to add, which is, this is incredibly obvious, but I think they need to add more game modes. And I don't just mean like adding, for example, like this winter event. I do like the kind of, the picking the cards and all that stuff, makes it a little bit more interactive, but I mean like a whole new fundamental game mode. And by that, my number one suggestion for a new game mode has always been a system that I would probably call like dimensions or something. And a dimension is essentially that you can only use units from a certain anime. So it's a stage where you can only use units from a certain category, a certain anime. Just bro, like raise your hand. Do you use any unit from Overlord besides Ainz? Because I don't, bro. I sacrificed all the units to get Ainz, and I haven't gotten them back since. Because why would I use them? They're just not that good. They're not that great. Ainz is the only really good one. I'm not going to use the other people. However, if there was a game mode that required me to only use units from Overlord, I would have to get them, because Ainz himself can't just carry me. He costs $10,000 to place. I need something to help me with the early game. You get what I'm saying? I need like a hill unit for the early game, stuff like that. By incentivizing people to get units that aren't like super duper meta, it gives them actual purpose, because a big problem of this game is it's been around for so long. There's so many units in these games that you're just never gonna touch, bro. Shanks right now is so out of meta, you would never touch Shanks in your life. Or every Tokyo Ghoul character in this game is so out of meta, why would you ever use them? But if there's a game mode where you could only use Tokyo Ghoul characters, you would have a reason to get them. So in my opinion, that's just like a very easy idea to incentivize you to get more units. I think that's a very important thing in these games, to incentivize a reason to use more units. Some other games, the way they do this, I mean, Anime Adventure does this as well, but a big way they do this is with elements. So for example, let's take Anime Last Stand. In Anime Last Stand, there can be a new unit that's low-key not that good, but let's say they're like water, and oh, you know, they're not that great, but they're pretty good for being a water. You know, oh, you only use them in caverns or some BS like that. So, and it happens the same in AA. Like, let's say Poochie is a little bit out of meta, but Poochie does do magic and light. So if there's a thing that you need magic and light damage, you still use Poochie, stuff like that. And the reason they do this is because they want to incentivize you to use more people. You shouldn't just be using the same 5 meta units every freaking update. You should have, you know, meta units for physical, meta units for magic, light, dark. I think that's a very good idea. I think another way to incentivize people to use more units would be this Dimensions game what I'm talking about. At least in my opinion, it'd be a pretty good game mode. Third thing I would add is an Easy A system. An Easy A system is a reference to a mobile game called Dokkan, and essentially, to dumb it down, an Easy A is just that when an old unit gets out of meta, to give them another evolution that makes them good again. So for Anime Adventures, let's use Broly as an example. Broly came out during the game's release, I'm pretty sure. He was a Fuyoe, which was good, but now his DPS is just trash. Broly is so bad. You would never ever get Broly. Like, if you do, honestly, like a new legendary is probably better than Broly in terms of raw damage. There's no reason to use him. However, if they added a system where Broly gets a new evolution and then he becomes good again, it re-incentivizes people to use him. However, I think the important part is that it has to be hard to evolve him. So you shouldn't just be able to evolve him like at any point in the game. You should have to have really good units as a late game player to evolve him to make him into a late game unit. The reason I really like this idea is because for Anime Adventures, it would seriously help people if you're able to recycle units. And the reason for this is because of unique. Let's say you play this game on a release and you got unique Broly. At the time, that was a super duper huge thing, but now it's absolutely worthless. Even a unique Broly is probably doing less damage than like most mythics with no traits. So for those people who spend those thousands of dollars to get unique, it's completely worthless now. However, if they added an Easy A system where Broly comes back into meta, you can get like some value out of your money again. You can get some worth out of that unique that you got all those years ago or whatnot. So I think that's pretty good because it allows you to get, you know, more value out of uniques and stuff, because, you know, eventually you'll be able to use a unit again. Now, obviously, this should only be used for units that are super duper out of meta, not just like, oh, this unit is doing 10% less damage than most units is buff. No, this should be for like old ass units that no one's touching anymore, bro. Literally no one. No one's touching Tokyo Ghoul units. No one's touching Arima, bro. They're not touching Shanks, Broly, Katakuri. Is Katakuri still even in the game, bro? I don't even know. I haven't seen his model in forever. But yeah, no one's touching those old ass units, bro. Every Fairy Tail unit, why would you touch it? To add an Easy A system, again, it would incentivize you to get older units, which I'm just a big fan of that. The fourth thing I would add, another thing to incentivize you to get more units, is collection bonuses. Now, we've seen these games like Anime Vanguards, Anime Reborn do indexes, and I do like the index system. It's as a collector, because like I personally really like collecting stuff, it's very satisfying to slowly fill out an index, so I am a big fan of that. But I would actually go one step further with the index, that not only, because these games usually just give you a bit of gems, so like you get a new mythic, you evolve them, and they give you like 500 gems or something. I wouldn't just do that. I would actually do collection bonuses in specific. So for example, let's say the last like big update was the Dragon Ball update. The Dragon Ball update added Goku, Vegeta, and Kid Buu, right? If I were a developer, I would make a collection bonus where if you evolve and collect Goku, Vegeta, and Kid Buu, let's say you do like 2% more boss damage, a super tiny buff like that. We can go way back. Let's say Fairy Tail, the Fairy Tail update. If you collect all the Fairy Tail units and evolve them, obviously the ones that aren't exclusive, if you collect them and evolve them, you get 3% more range or some BS like that. Like super tiny buffs. These super tiny buffs, but that they stack up with time. Because obviously with each update, if you get all the units from the Naruto Storm Hideout, you get 1% more damage. Stuff like that. These tiny buffs that can add up and eventually start to cause like a good bit of a difference. Now, why would I want this? Because once again, it incentivizes you to get units that aren't really meta. There's so many, like I personally always collect every unit in every update, but I know plenty of people who never collect most units because they're not good. And that's completely understandable, obviously. Like if you know that a unit isn't meta, why would you want to waste your gems on it? Stuff like that. But I just think this would help you, like, okay, maybe this unit isn't that good damage, but if I get him and I evolve him, I get the collection bonus. Stuff like that. You feel me? So again, just incentivize people to get these units. My opinion, good game design. Let me know what y'all think. But the final feature I would add, which is actually my favorite feature, but I saved it for last, is a little complicated to explain, but essentially a free-to-play unique. Now, when you hear a free-to-play unique, you're like, what the hell does that mean? That sounds contradictory. That's like saying like a a square, circle. But no, by a free-to-play unique, I mean the game's already kind of done in the past with legendaries that you can evolve into mythics. So if you guys remember doing like the cell raid or some of the previous raid updates, you get legendary units that you can evolve into mythic units. Now it's easier to get unique on these units because you can just use star remnants, and star remnants on legendaries are cheaper than they are on mythics. So for example, Cell you can use 1000 star remnants and maybe get unique on him when he's a legendary and then evolve him to a mythic. In comparison, it would take 5000 star remnants when he's a mythic. So technically it's relatively easier to get unique on Cell. And I'm a big fan of that. But I would actually take it one step further. So they add an update with a raid. This raid comes with like 2 legendary units that can be evolved into mythics. But not only that, I would make it so that the raid gives you star remnants, however exclusive star remnants. So you know how they've done this thing where there's like limited time star remnants, now there's legacy star remnants, like all this stuff. I would make it so this raid gives you star remnants that you can only use for units from that raid, and I'd make it so you get a pretty good amount of them each day. So let's say you can get up to 50 star remnants every day, but you can only use them on the units from that raid. Now what does this cause? It means that it's pretty easy to get that unique. Now it doesn't have to be a game breaking unit, it can just be like a very solid unique to have, but this way even a free-to-play person can get a unique eventually. Because let's just do some math. If you get 50 star remnants every day, if you do it for 20 days, which by the way is a pretty freaking long time, but if you just like slowly chip at it for 20 days, you'll most likely get a unique unit. And for a lot of people, that would probably be their first unique unit. Now the reason I would do this is because I think unique is like the most iconic feature of this game, and it sucks that like a huge portion of the freaking population of this game has never even gotten a unique unit. Like that actually sucks. It's like the most iconic part of the game, and most people will never even experience it because it's so rare. But by adding a free-to-play unique, at least you can actually finally get that dopamine rush of getting unique. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a game-breaking unit, but it can just be like a very solid unit to have, and I think a lot of people would be very grateful for that because, you know, it's their first unique. In my opinion, it'd be a good feature. By making it so the star remnants are only exclusive to that raid, it prevents you from like, you know, just getting a bunch of rerolls every day for whatever unit. I think it's balanced in my head. Like when I plan it out, it seems fairly balanced. I like the idea a lot. Let me know what y'all think. Do you guys think that's too OP? Is it dumb? That's mainly it. Those are the suggestions I have for AA. Let me know how y'all think. Do you guys got any suggestions? Hope you guys have a good one. Bye bye.